Hello and welcome to the MRF Challenge here in Chennai. Next up, we have Formula LGB 1300s. They're already on the grid. They've got 10 laps ahead of them. And your commentator for the race is David Addison. David, over to you.
We're looking forward to this because they have given us some great racing all weekend. They had two races yesterday, the Formula LGB 1300s, the LGB bit standing for the LG Balakrishnan brothers, who are the prime movers behind the series, these cars, and they are 1300cc single-seaters powered by a Suzuki engine. They have a Swift chassis. They weigh in at about 450 kilos and they generate 90 horsepower. The grid is almost complete. There's one non-starter that stopped on the green flag lap, which is MR Rishon, and we've just lost into the pit lane Sudarshan Vinayak, number 9, just trickled off the circuit, so he's come down the pit road. But other than that, I think everybody is just about good to go. So we've got the countdown rapidly going through. 1 minute board shown, and everybody now being ushered off the grid because we've lost an hour and a half or so on the timetable from earlier delays, and the officials keen to try and push on as soon as they can and get things back underway. But the grid needing to be cleared, and quick. So the officials, then we'll get this green flag lap underway. They're not cutting race distances down, but they are trying to move on as rapidly as possible. So out they will come in a moment onto this green flag lap. And as soon as the last of the personnel is off the grid, then the cars can be waved away. There at the very back of the grid, you see the red car of Gagandeep Singh, who has been a bit unlucky this weekend. The gap just further up the road was where Sudarshan Vinayak should have been. Number 16 is there, Ashwin Datta, who won race 2, and alongside him is the man that won race 1, and that's Tijil Rao. So the two teammates for the Momentum Motorsports team, good to go. And so now the green flag can be shown and the cars released onto this warming up lap. It's a formula introduced way back in 2003, and these cars are rugged, that's for sure. They may be no frills, but it's a very good low-cost way of going racing here on this 3.7-kilometre circuit. They're looking down on the pit straight, and the cars now turn through turn 1, short straight up to another sharper right at turn 2, left at 3, and then accelerate their way through the S's onto the back part of the circuit, where we had a sizable accident in the earlier MRF Challenge race that in turn necessitated a very lengthy stoppage and barrier rebuild. But these cars hopefully are going to get through without dramas, and we look forward to another lively race, that's for certain. So the pole position driver, Tijil Rao, did a very good job to win the first race, worked his way through to the front. Ashwin Datta was the winner of the semi-reverse grid race yesterday with some very opportunistic overtaking, but having got the lead, could not shake off the rest of them, and it was a proper non-aero single-seater battle. It really was great to watch. So what's today's race got in store for us? We had incident aplenty, as I say, in race 1, 2 safety cars and a red flag. Yesterday's was just excellent. It was good, close racing all the way through, but with no silliness. And as the cars now turn down through turn 8, they'll reform on the grid, and then we will be in business. 36 there, you see, is the car of Chirag Gopada that will start from 4th on the grid. So now, as they turn through turn 10, round the back of the paddock, we are almost good to go racing then. 21 is David Ryan, who was another casualty in the first race. To be fair, lots of people got into strife in the first race, but David's car was pretty badly launched, but he's bounced back. So everybody now to the grid. So Tidjil Rao, the man on pole position, Ashwin Datta with him at the front of the grid. Then you've got number 14 next, their third, Surya Varatan. He's been a bit of a curate's egg this weekend, really quick in free practice, a bit like Linus Lundqvist was actually in the MRF Challenge for the 2-litre cars. Really good on Friday, not so good in qualifying, not so good in racing, hasn't quite had the same pace come the races as he did in practice on Friday, the 2 free practice sessions, which began with a car upside down, and we lost for the weekend Geethanjali. So we are ready to go racing because there are now 5 red lights on and the lights go out. Everybody blasts away with a good start made by, from third on the grid, Varatan to move across and defend from Gopada, but it's the pole man, Tidjil Rao, that leads the way with Ashwin Datta. They're going wheel to wheel with Varatan down toward the first corner. They turn through as one. And now the cars accelerate up towards the right-hander of turn 2, with the leader being Tidjil Rao from pole position. And there, right old scrum of cars in midfield as they wriggle up through 2 and 3 for the first time. Going wide there in the background was David Ryan, getting a little bit wide out of turn 2. But as the cars turn up to the S's on this opening lap, the dust is settling and the leader is getting away. Tidjil Rao then is up front. Second is Varatan, third is Datta, fourth is Gopada. And everybody safely through the first corners of the race. So down they come, with a challenge being made lower but down by the white car of Mihir Sulman, and a spin round into a tag is Trishal MS, and he is avoided by everybody, is he? Some have gone on the grass in avoidance, but yes, he has been avoided, and so we're back and running for him, but he's right down at the foot of the field now. 45 goes through, which is the car of Shijam, and off the road slides Gagandeep Singh, all over the grass. He'll get back onto the road, I think. Yes, he will, but rather badly delayed in all of that. So through they come to complete the first lap of the race. And there is the car of Ashwin Datta, number 16, the winner of race 2 of the weekend. So they drop into the right-hander of turn 10. And up front, Tidjil Rao is trying to build that advantage as best he can. But now Surya Varatan in second place, getting away from Datta. Varatan has had a couple of third places this weekend, but Ashwin Datta, with a win in a second, turns his way now up through the right-hander and comes over the timing line out of turn 12. So 1 lap in the book. Rao leads the way. Varatan is second, third is Datta, fourth Gopada, fifth now is Aman Chaudhry. In sixth place is Kartik Krishna, who was part of that great lead battle yesterday. Seventh is David Ryan going nicely. Eighth is Digvishal Jamwal ahead of Mihir Suma Avalaki, and the top 10 rounded out by Kunal Maini, who went off the road in both races 1 and 2. Got involved with his teammates, in fact, in the first race for an incident. But the race leaders then up through the S's for the second time I'm asking. So now, Ashwin Datta coming under attack, losing ground, I'm afraid to say. Aman Chaudhry closing up on him. Chaudhry going nicely here, number 18. There behind is Kartik Krishna. So Krishna, former Volkswagen Challenge racer, blasts on, inching up onto the back of those cars ahead of him, but gaps, surprisingly, for non-slicks and wings, non-aero cars have opened up a little bit, but it's impressive to see the way that Tidjil Rao is going. He didn't get through the traffic quite so well in that semi-reverse grid race yesterday, but what he did do in race 1 was a good, impressive job leading from the front, and he's doing that again here. Ashwin Datta, then having lost out to Chirag Gopada, has got work to do now to fend off their Aman Chaudhry as they come down into turn 10, but release now. It looks like Gopada is going after the yellow car of Surya Varatan just up the road ahead of him. There is 33 Digvishal Jamwal, who was 5th on the grid. Hooks the curb. He's staying ahead of Kartik Krishnan for the moment, who in turn has got David Ryan tucked up behind him. David Ryan experienced in these cars, going nicely as they come over the brow and now turn into the right-hander of turn 12. The series that replaced the FISMI category for the Formula India single-seater little his car, and as they come over the timing line side by side for second place, then you've got Varatan on the inside, but Chirag Gorpada on the outside line tries to make the move as they go through to start lap number 3. And can Gorpada do it? He's up the inside at turn 2, wheel to wheel, but he will go through, and he makes that stick. So Chirag Gorpada goes by and takes the place. Out wide goes Aman Chaudhry, and that's going to bring Kartik Krishna right onto his tail as they brake and turn into turn 3 here. Through they go, almost as one there. Now the cars accelerate their way through the S's once again up towards turn 4. We've got a car stranded on the pit straight, which is Yokeshwaran's car. So Yokeshwaran, who was in the wars in race 1, has retired also from race 3. There's the move for second. Up the inside goes Chirag Gorpada, and he takes the place on the inside line. As in replay also, you see Aman Chaudhry running out wide, coming out of turn 2. So the race leader, Tijil Rao, trying to maintain the advantage over the opposition. And it is an advantage of some standing at the moment. 3.7 seconds ahead he was. And now as they come down towards turn 8, of course, it's going to be a different driver chasing after him in second spot. But can now Gorpada, who's showing better pace in this third race than the previous 2, do anything about him? The surprise is Ashwin Datta down in now 4th place, Ashwin Datta, because he has fallen not only away in terms of speed, but also places, so fallen right back. But there, out of the race, is Aman Chaudhry, so he's not going to be a factor anymore. Where has Chaudhry come to grief? It's at turn 6, isn't it, on the inside there. So Aman Chaudhry is out of the race as the leaders come down towards turn 12. Yellow flag on the approach because of the warning for the car of Yokeshwaran that's parked by the side of the road. But as they come over the timing line, to the eye, the gap's coming down now between Rao and Gorpada. Let's see whether that is the case. There's also Varatan not that far behind either. And Gorpada, having done a better lap there, is fractionally nearer to the race leader. David Ryan goes through, keeping Kunal Maini at bay. Maini, number 79. And his M Sport car on the back of the Alisha Motorsports entry of David Ryan. Nose to tail through the right-hander then. Through they turn, out of the left-hander into the S's. And the race leader, Tijil Rao, still dominates up front. He's not put a wheel wrong in this race. Maybe it's a mark of how drivers get used to a track over 3 days, but this has been so far the tamest of the 3 races. But there's a good fight here. David Ryan under attack. Look, right on his tail is Kunal Maini. Similar liveries, different teams operating these cars. David Ryan with a bit of opposite lot there, needing the correction. And further up the road, Varatan still chasing after Gorpada. Ashwin Datta dropping back, and there in 5th spot is Kartik Krishna. So to the braking area comes Tijil Rao, and Varatan has a look back up the inside, see what he can do about going through and taking a place, but the answer is precious little, I'm afraid. So the race leader on his own, but for second and third, down they come through that right-hander. Over the brow once more, the dark blue car in the hands of Tijil Rao, leading the race. His teammate Chirag Gorpada second, and then Surya Varatan in the white and yellow M Sports car through in 3rd place. But Rao is just looking so dominant here, continuing to get away. 2.4 seconds to the good he is now. Race leaders go by with 4 laps in the book, so approaching half distance as there through goes the recovering Mihir Suman-Amalaki, and he's being chased by David Ryan now. Ryan having dropped back behind both Maini and Amalaki on that last lap, but he's trying to fight back as best he can. Look, the white car under attack as they turn through turn 3. Suman-Amalaki, who drives for the Beryl Art India team, against the Alisha Motorsports car there in the hands of David Ryan. So to turn 4 they go. Brake hard, turn left, and Surya Varatan in 3rd place, attacking once again for second. He's just done the absolute best of anybody in the first sector, so we're not done yet in that battle to be second in this race. 5 laps remain at the end of this one as they come up through turn 6 once again. There's the race leader, lest we forget, Tigil Rao out on his own, but definitely Gorpada is hunting him down. He took half a second out in the first sector, and in third place, Varatan is quicker than the pair ahead of him, partly maybe because he is getting a tow. You can do that without a wing on the car at certain parts of the circuit, but definitely in the top three. Concertinaing up now. Down into the right-hander of turn 10 goes Surya Varatan, and he's done 2 absolute bests in sectors on this lap. So Varatan doing a really good job. The man that's fallen back behind him, Ashwin Datta, the runner-up in last year's championship, so you'd expect better in a way, but the leaders come by. And there's one driver being given a black flag. We haven't had this on the timing screen, so I can't tell you who it is. The leader goes through. Tigil Rao was 2.4 seconds ahead, he's now 1.3 seconds ahead. In third place is Varatan, fourth is Datta, then it's Kartik Krishna and Kunal Maini right with him, and Kartik Krishna on the outside line as they head into turn 1, but he can't do it there. Kunal Maini tries to get up the inside, but that's to no avail either. Off the road, that is Maini. Kunal Maini has lost it, so he made the move and it didn't work, and he's off the road coming out of turn 1. Kartik Krishna then now comes up to attack Ashwin Datta once more through turn 3. And he's now got the speed, hasn't he? Datta, you get the feeling, has a problem in this car in this race, because having won race 2, he just cannot get away, and he's struggling to defend even here because Krishna is the quicker of the two, nose to tail. He's looking on the outside line as they break now up to turn 4, but he can't do it there either. Number 18 is the one being given the black flag, but as number 18 is a long time out of the race, that seems a bit superfluous, that flag. So the leaders come by the turn 6 banking and accelerate towards turn 8. There you've got number 12 still as the leader, Tigil Rao, and he's being caught once again here. There's another car that has spun coming out of the last corner, so this time it's on the inside as the two leaders go toe-to-toe down towards turn 10. Chirag Gorpada it is that is, for the moment, right in the wheel tracks of Tigil Rao, and he has proved that he's got the speed. He's wriggled his way up, remember, from 4th on the grid, and now, having rejoined the race, Chaudhry has arrived in the pit lane. The leader comes down towards turn 12, and you'll see in a moment there's another car on the inside. There it is, up against the guardrail. For the moment, going no further. The car vacated, driver is out. So Rao and Gorpada go through with 4/10 between them. Surya Varatan right up behind them as well. We start lap 7 now. Next battle goes through, the three of them together, Datta Krishna and then Suma Avalaki. There they are, and it is still Ashwin Datta who is able to defend quite nicely in this. He was a great defender for his race win yesterday, and he's having to do the same thing again here. He's lost ground early on, but now hanging on resolutely to that 4th place. The cars stream through turn 3, and here, out of the S's, is the leader, Tigil Rao, then, with Chirag Gorpada right up behind him. Now can Rao fend him off? He goes very wide indeed at turn 5. No, he can't. That's going to give Gorpada the lead on a plate, and Chirag Gorpada goes easily through on the inside. So Tigil Rao, the race 1 winner, makes an error, drifts out wide and loses the ground. So through they turn with a new race leader on this, the 7th lap of the 10. Chirag Gorpada it is up front. Cars wriggle their way out of turn 9, and now that he's hit the front, can Gorpada be our 3rd different winner in the 3 races of the weekend? Let's see. They flick through that right-hander. Down now into the left at turn 10. Tigil Rao trying to stay with him, and if he can stay in the draft, he might be able to have a go back at turn 1. Let's see what pans out of all of this. I think it was Vijay Aditya that's up against the barrier there, just to the right as they come out of the last turn. Obscured from view, but the leaders go through with now Gorpada ahead by 0.295 of a second, and here comes Rao into the wheel tracks, into the slipstream, and he pulls out and he has a look down towards turn 1. Can't quite do it, but Chirag Gorpada coming under very concerted attack from the man that led early on in the race. We're on lap 8 of the 10 now. So through they turn, and now the run through the S's with Gorpada and Rao the top two. Surya Varatan, part of this leading battle, but not quite now, having the pace to stay on the tail of Rao, who makes a move on the inside line, goes back into the race lead into turn 4. So he led early on, he lost out to Gorpada, but he fights back impressively. Through he goes. It was here that he made his mistake and ran out wide, and this time he's a lot closer to the apex. Not as tight through the corner as Gorpada is, but a better line nonetheless. Side by side they come now, down towards the braking zone once more. To the outside line there is Gorpada, and is he going to be able to get the outside and then the inside? Yes, he does it. He goes right around the outside of Rao. Brave stuff. So Tijil Rao loses the lead once again, and Surya Varathan thinks, why don't you just bang wheels and let me have a better chance at all of this? But it's been without any contact thus far. Gorpada back into the lead. The two cars operated by the same team, remember, of Momentum Motorsports, come down towards turn 11 now. Chirag Gorpada leading the way. Tijil Rao in second spot. Surya Varathan is third. Mihir Suman Albalaki fourth. Kartik Krishnan fifth. Ashwin Datta has now fallen back into sixth spot. But with the race leaders about to come through to start the ninth lap of the race, over the timing line with back markers ahead will come Chirag Gorpada. Now who do we lose? Number 70 that is, which is Mohammed Reza Sheikh. Another car needing to be retrieved post-race as the leaders go through turn 1 yet again. 1 lap to go at the end of this, so is it going to be Gorpada or Rao or Varatan that will take the win? At the moment it's Gorpada. Through they turn, out now from turn 3. Back marker gets out of the way. That's number 9 in fact, which is Sudarshan Vinayak, who is about 5 laps down, having joined in late from the pit lane. The leader under attack once again, but Gorpada hugs the inside line at turn 4, making sure that there's no way there that Tijil Rao can find a way past him. Up now through the long looping right, turn 6 they go. Surya Varathan tantalisingly close, but he still hasn't quite been able to use that slipstream to his advantage and make a move into the braking zone. Now he can. Now he makes the dive on the inside, but to no avail. Tijil Rao defends, closes the door. Turn right, turn left, out of turn 9 now, and the two race leaders still have, it seems, better pace than does Varathan. And again, in fact, Rao back into the wheel tracks, goes for the race lead, up the inside of Gorpada, up a curb, has to back out of it. There's 1 lap to run at the end of this, the two of them together. And as they come now through the right-hander of turn 11, ready to crash the rise, the leader remains just Gorpada. In 9th place, incidentally, Dhruva Tyagi, who was at the very back of the grid after a grid drop, after an incident he was involved in yesterday, but he's made decent progress. The leaders go through them with a lap to go, and it's 0.298 of a second between the pair. That's nothing at all in Formula LGB 1300 terms. Is it going to be a chance soon for Rao to dive back up the inside? There's another back marker, and there a red flag is shown. A red flag on the last lap, so the race is being stopped. And it means that the win goes the way of whom? Gorpada. It needs to take it back to the last full lap completed by everybody. I think the car that was off the road was 24. I've just been talking about Dhruva Tyagi. It looked like him that was being retrieved. It is Dhruva Tyagi off the road. So a red flag, and we will await, I think 8 laps was the last lap that everybody had completed. Wait confirmation, but still think at the end of that it was Gorpada who was in the lead. We will await confirmation. So the Formula LGB 1300s have certainly got the marshals busy this weekend, that is for certain. And they will shortly make their way back to the pit lane. So on the final lap for some, a red flag, and it was to the credit of Gorpada that he saw it, put his hand in the air to slow everybody down. So there is 36, which is Chirag Gorpada, the provisional race winner. I'm just waiting for the timing screen to confirm the lap at which it wants the result to be declared. Oh, there's not just Tiagi, is there? There's another car involved in that, Mohet Aryan. Intriguingly, that's the same part of the circuit that Tiagi got involved in an accident yesterday, late race, on the last lap yesterday. Read into that what you will, but Tiagi off the road again, I'm afraid. So the cars come down the pit lane and the officials will stock the top three that they need, and then we will concern ourselves in due course with a quick word from the winners. So Chirag Gorpada, I'm pretty sure, was ahead at 8 laps, because it was around the circuit where Tijil Rao was gaining the places. So Gorpada, Rao and Varatan should be the top three, and Chirag Gorpada is a happy man as he clambers out of the car. Two more races still to come here at the MMRT. So as Chirag Gorpada goes to congratulate Tijil Rao after that great little battle they had, we will head in a moment down to Parc Fermé. Sorry, Varatan's car there as well. But Tijil Rao, very hot and bothered. So Chirag Gorpada, the winner, he is with Louise.
Chirag, that was a great race. You kept working right the way to the end.
Yeah, it was a tough race for me, especially since this is like my first round. And well done to Tijil, he drove so well and it was hard. Yeah, it was a good fought battle.
You've just gone and shook his hand.
Yeah, we're like good friends.
Good, that's good. I'm just going to go and get to Jill now, if I can speak to you. Well done. You tried so hard, just couldn't quite get that win at the end.
Yeah, just missed it on the last lap. I was waiting for another lap. Maybe we could have tried to go for the win, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that. So yeah, it's quite a close race. Chirag drove really well. My start was really good, but then in the middle I just started losing some amount of grip on the car. So that's why maybe we had to settle for second.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
And I'll just step in and speak to our third place man. Surya's still talking to the team, getting some feedback, I assume. Good race for you, tough, and you kept it with the front runners.
Yeah, it was a bit hard race for me. I could have done much better. I should focus mainly on my driving, so I still have to get on pace. So next race, it'll be hard for them to win.
These drivers are always looking to see where they can improve, aren't they, David? Back to you.
Always thinking ahead, think about the next race. So great drive by Chirag Gorpada, another newcomer to these cars, but some good racecraft there and being ahead when it matters. So it's always a gamble, isn't it? Yes, you could plan ahead and bide your time and go on the last lap, but outside factors can always affect life, as it has just done for Tijil Rao. But he's had a victory going back to the first race, and another impressive drive there in race 2. So the circuit being cleared of errant Formula LGB 1300s, Formula 1600 MRF Challenge cars will be next here on track. So the fans looking over the track from that last corner. There is a podium being made ready, I understand, for the Formula LGB 1300 runners, as we look at the highlights of the third race. A very lively race it was too, with Tijil Rao taking pole position into the race lead early on, everybody else battling their way through behind. But there was plenty of drama, as anticipated, with early spinners out at the back part of the circuit. And Amongst them was Gagandeep Singh, who slithered his way onto the grass on the inside of the circuit. He was able to rejoin, albeit rather badly delayed. 21, David Ryan fighting his way up the order. In the end, he was 7th. But up front, as Ashwin Datta dropped back into the clutches of Karthik Krishna, off the road slithered Kunal Maini. And for the race lead, Tijil Rao started to come under attack from Chirag Gopada. They traded the lead, and although Tijil Rao was fancying his chances of making a fight back and repelling the challenge of Surya Varadhan, it was not to be, because the red flag rather stopped the fun in its tracks through the incident zone right at the very end. And with the red flags flying on the countback, Chirag Gopada, the race winner from in second place, Tijil Rao, and Surya Varadhan taking 3rd spot.